Howdy ho, it's whiskey rant time for Rauta audience. Today was actually going to be a totally different video, a review, but I had to replace it because this topic is hot and we need to address it right away before people will forget it and before things change too much. We can always come back if things are progressing. So without further ado, let's have a little bit of whiskey to go with this arch enemy rant. By now you might have heard about this photography case that actually happened a few months ago already. So this is kind of an old story that basically resurfaced just recently. I think I was reading it about today and also discussing this with my photographer friends. So I'm gonna recap the story real quick so you get the basic idea what's going on, and then you can just, if you want to go deeper, you can pretty much read or check out the video which I have linked below in the description box, and you get a little bit of insight what's going on. Let's start with this. So there was this guy, a photographer, who wanted to take arch enemy shots at some festival a few months ago. And this photographer did what they usually do, post the photos on social media. Then it got like basically what's called like put there again, like for the band. I mean, by the band, it was like put there another time, with the tagging, for the photographer and all that stuff. It was good. The photographer was happy about it. It was a good shot of the vocalist Alisa, and everything was just nice. Until one particular company, which seems to make the clothing gear or stage gear for the band, or at least the vocalist, used the same photo for advertising. So basically, they took, without asking permission and all that stuff, the same photo and published on their, Facebook page, and, in order to advertise their clothing. Obviously, the photographer was not really happy about it. And you can guess the idea. He has taken the shot and no money compensated for that shot was paid, even though he kind of said nicely like, hey, usually I ask like 500 euros for this kind of images used for, advertising, promotion and whatnot. But I'll be nice about it, and you can just donate 100 euros to a Dutch cancer thing, kind of a, basically donation for the good cause. And that would be okay. And, well, normal people would just think like, okay, it's 100 euros for a photo. Maybe we'll just remove it and take the promo shots with ourselves. But then again, the photo is really cool. 100 euros for it. Okay, let's go with it. It's going for a good cause. The photographer is happy. The band is happy. Everybody wins. But guess what happens? Yeah, shitstorm, hits the fan. Shits the fan, I guess. And then things go to awkward direction. And now I need a whiskey. So things go overboard now. The photographer gets email about this stuff like, hey, you're not gonna get paid, and but why you're threatening us with 500 euro bill for the photo and whatever. And then like, no, it's not a threat. I'm just saying that this would be my normal price tag for this thing. And instead of this price tag, you could just donate 100 euros for a good cause and it would be over. Again, this guy gets a new mail. And by the way, not from this clothing company, but it seems band's former vocalist, Angela Gosso, who is also responsible for band's management, more or less, is actually saying to these guys, okay, we removed the photos and blah blah blah, and by the way, you are removed from our list. You will never be able to get to the photo pit of the band, any festivals, any gigs. Your name will be sent to all those lists, so everybody, every gig organizer and whatever will know your name and like ban you for the rest of your life. Basically threatening to destroy this photographer's career. Luckily, it's not his day job, but anyway, you get the idea. And no matter if the photographer was like really being civil with his email and all that stuff, like, hey, can we just like settle the score and whatever? No way. Even this vocalist Alisa got pissed off at this guy and you know, start defending. Obviously, they have to hold the line. I understand the point. I mean, it can't be like management says this and the band says that. They cannot just, you know, argue within. That's like bad thing in so many ways. But instead of going like, hey, let's just have a, you know, a crisis meeting and figure out what we should, you know, tell to this photographer. Instead, the vocalist also attacks the guy, basically, and then this turns into a peer catastrophe. And the funny thing is that this already happened, like I said, a few months ago. But it was recently just published due to various reasons. I guess there was something related to time issues and whatever. And now the shitstorm really started to stir up. Obviously, many photographers got really pissed off because not only this was basically saying that we as a band can use your photography and you will not be compensated. You should be happy to photograph us, and if you do anything like ask for money or whatever, you will be banned. You will be blacklisted. Your life as a, you know, metal photographer will be destroyed. You will be crushed. And of course, this, when it goes viral, things go really fast, you know, spinning like a tornado or a tsunami or whatever. And that's when the media starts to react. Now, some of the photographers are already saying that, okay, I'm not gonna touch this subject. I don't want to destroy my career. I won't comment. And some of them are like, okay, I'm not gonna photo Arch Enemy anymore because it's a matter of principle. I won't go against that band because I don't want my career destroyed, but I won't be photographing it either because I have some principles. And others, I don't know. I don't know how things will work out, how they will turn out in the future days. But to me, this is kind of like one of those cases. I don't remember what's the proper word for that, but you know, when there's a lawsuit, something happens for the first time, and you have to kind of like decide for the first time. There's kind of like a first way of, you know, judging something in a court of law. This is one of those cases. This might be a game changer. Then nothing can be changed. I mean, who knows? The funny thing is, and I don't know, I haven't confirmed if these are real or not. And to be honest, for the sake of this video, it doesn't really matter. There was also, I saw some screen caps from, I think, 2009 or 2010, when some other photographer was actually having the same kind of conversation with Angela Gassau regarding Arch Enemy photos, and having basically the same conversation about like, hey, you used my photos there, like, if it would be cool because you're using them for some third-party site, it would be cool to, you know, take them off, or at least compensate me for like some 75 euros per picture, whatever. It's just like a quite decent money, to be honest. But no, instead of like, okay, sorry for not using that without permission, we didn't have a clue of what was going on or whatever, or just pay the goddamn photographer. No, it was once again said like, so let me make this clear. You will not be photoing the band anymore. Your life will be destroyed. And like, what the hell? I mean, like, the funny thing is, like somebody pointed out, there was this anarchy equality badges, you know, on Angela's jacket or whatever. So basically they're advocating anarchy, equality, whatever, you know, like, let's be equal, you know, there's no capitalist bullshit and all that stuff. And suddenly there is a double standard thing. It's all about money. Now, before you're like, why are you making a video out of this? Who gives about Arch Enemy? Who gives about photographers? Who gives about this and that? Well, I do. The thing is, this is all about having copyright. Now, let's make it clear. These photographers own the copyright of their own pictures. Whether they are not going to release it or whatever, they have the right. Now, sometimes these photographers are asked to do kind of a agreement some kind of a disclosure agreement. If you're gonna photo the band, you are supposed to send these photos to the band management or whatever to get them approved before you can actually publish them. And that might be your only ticket to get to the photo pit of sorts. I've been in gigs, you know, doing a kind of a written reports of, you know, gigs and festivals where I've been told that photographers actually have to do that. That's really, really questionable thing to ask. Like, first of all, they don't get paid for the pictures, usually anyway, unless you're like a mainstream media day job photographer. You don't usually get paid. You just get the free ticket, free or free. Let's think for a bit. You just get the ticket for the gig, and maybe you can watch the show. Not always even a full show, just some of the songs, and then you're like, bug off. And then you were supposed to send these pictures to the band management or whoever is taking care of the photos and PR subject and whatever, and they can decide pretty much what to do with these photos. So it's really, really peculiar way to do this copyright thing. Let's put it this way. No, I don't know why the Zoom is not working properly. Anyway, let's put it this way. The photographer, once he or she is asked to, you know, like give these photographs for free for the bands to use, it would be as much the same basically that if Arch Enemy's music or any bands in question, music was used in advertisement. I look like, let's put it this way. The band is like, hey, you can play your music at your home party and whatever, and it's cool, and you can play whoever you want. Of course we can do that. By the way, we don't need a permission when we have. But in public places, it's different. The band could be even say like, okay, you can play our music in your bar and we don't need to be compensated. They could basically do that. But if I wanted to, say, advertise a product online, if I wanted to even have it included in this very video and kind of get the money for myself, it wouldn't be possible. I mean, of course, algorithms and automatic things take care of that. That I don't get to do that. But even if I had the balls to do a you know, advertising some products, which I don't do, but if I wanted to do, and I wanted to use a song from the band without permission, do you think it would be just okay for the band? Like, okay, you're just using your money to advertise whatever you want. It's totally okay, fine with us. No, they would be asking like X amount of money for their song or part of the song being used in the ad. And rightfully so. But when things are turned and the photographer is actually asking for the same kind of thing in order to get compensated for the photos used, the band is getting just like outrage. And not only saying like, no, we're not going to pay you and we're not going to use your money. They're also threatening to basically, you know, get this guy or gal removed from future gigs as well. Suddenly like, what the hell is going on here? So there's like so many ways of, you know, double standard going on that I can just like put my finger on all of them. It just makes this whole thing so weird. And the funny thing is, even if none of these photographer stories were true, if it was all just a big misunderstanding, this is a huge fail for Arch Enemy management and PR. I don't know if they can even survive this. Maybe they figured they would because they're big enough. They're big enough a band to just like, let's call it, like in a poker game. You can just see if there's a bluff going on. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna see your bluff. I'll call your shot. And they're like, oh, bummer. You have better cards than I did. They might be able to do this stunt. So maybe in a few weeks nobody can even remember that. But if we think about how things are remembered when it comes to political issues, say like the Taki case, I was already making a video almost a year ago now, when they had this kind of a swastika thing and how Antifa was attacking them and basically causing cancellation of their tour. And that was about a photo that resurfaced after like 13, 14 years. Internet remembers. So will this thing be forgotten all of a sudden, or will it become a thing for future festivals and future events and bands to, well, in the near or later future? That remains to be seen. I'm really interested to see how this all plays out. Will there be a public apologizing on behalf of the band, or will they just go burning bridges, which is an album by the way, and will they go just, burning flags and all that stuff, and like, hey, we don't need you, we don't need media, we have all the good photographers in our pockets, nobody needs you, Rauta channel leader. I don't know, that might be the case. Might be that even nobody gives a damn in general because people are just like, oh, no, but play some music, I'm gonna get wasted, who gives you a damn? But I'll put my money on the thing that many photographers will actually start looking at things the different way from now on. It's not so much about arch enemy, it's not about Angela Gossov, it's not about Alice and whoever was behind all of this. It really doesn't come to one band only. It really doesn't come to one photographer only or a couple of them. This could be, like I said, a game changer, a thing and an event that changed the course for the future, because usually photographers, well, there are plenty of them, maybe too many, like somebody said, but they are treading on thin ice as much as the bands are, because obviously when you start messing up with the copyright laws, if you start thinking that you are above the system as a band, as an artist, doesn't matter what your media is, then you are surely get screwed, because like I said, internet remembers. So let's see how this drama plays out. Maybe in a few days, maybe in a few weeks. We'll be smarter, we'll know more. Until that, stay tuned and be vigilant.